Good afternoon. This is Friday, September the 9th. Neil, end of week wrap up here. Simpler Futures free market update video. Week in review is that Monday was a holiday this week. 4-day week, traded Tuesday. Low for the week in the S&P is 38.87. Rallied off that low pretty substantially, all the way up to 40.75. And by the way, it's only 2:30 in the afternoon. I guess it could go a little higher because it's not quite 3 o'clock yet. But the Wednesday was the kind of the big sort of move out of the hole. And if you'll look here, this is going to be one of my bearish targets for next week's 39.80 is balance on this week. That's point of control for this week. And 39.40 was the balance point of control for the week prior. So 39.80 this week and 40 last week. Those would be the bearish targets. The way that this trade looks at this moment is that with that 87 low up to the high for the move thus far, it will likely put weekly pivot next week at Thursday's high, 4008 or maybe 908, maybe 9, one of the two right there for a weekly pivot would be my guess. And so this is what we do. Usually note this for everybody in the trade room. I'll pull that weekly pivot marker up and treat that as the over-under. Remember, I've got bearish targets already I just gave you. And I will certainly look for this weekly pivot to trade at some point, as it did this week. And let's talk about how maybe we get there, okay? So next up, I will take you to the chart that I last showed you, which was on Wednesday night. I did Wednesday videos, I think, this week, yeah. And we were preparing for the Thursday. Oh, another thing, Thursday rollover gap. The rollover gap did not fill on Thursday. It came 2 points shy of meeting the objective. Remember, the objective was 17 points from the open or 20 from that little uptick. It only traded down to 2 points shy of the objective, right? Personally, to be honest with you, I don't think that there was really an opportunity to have even really gotten elected for the short because there was not really an uptick on the open. And then secondly, it did not make the target. Missed it small, but did not make it. And then lastly, certainly I don't think that anyone should have lost money with that observation, given the fact that it was down 15 of a 17 objective before it turned around and rallied back up. So, but at the end of the day, the bottom line is it did not finish the rollover gap here. Now, the CME recently suggests that we should start using Monday. That's next Monday, the Monday prior to the actual expiration as the roll, and that makes sense because a lot of folks are going to use Monday anyway because that's when the volume and open interest really largely will shift into and in favor of the new contract, which is the December contract. So frankly, I intend to try the rollover gap trade again on Monday morning with the same rules as we used for Thursday. I'm going to do the same thing again on Monday with the same rule set as Thursday. Open up a bit and then set it down for that 20-point objective. All right. So there's a little Monday morning deal. Okay, now the rest of the Paul Harvey here, the rest of the story. Remember, we said the other day we'd look for about the 39.50 support on that open dip, and that was part of the rollover trade and dip, and then for that support to be right about 50 on that open and then up, and we had target up here at 40.85. Well, it's gotten close, as you can see. High, like I say, so far is 75, so I guess it's maybe 10 points or something away from that voodoo fire line target up there. Okay, so that would definitely be one of my bullish targets for next week. It's awfully close, though, as you can see, right? So let me do it this way. Clearly, that is going to be one level that we're going to have to be very cognizant of and aware and watch closely next week. Is extremely important level. Not only is it a voodoo fire line, but it also checks whether you're permitted into this area body of balance of trade up here, which is 4080 by 4180. The target there in the middle, there's two POCs here in the middle, 4020 and 40. So I'm going to put the target above 80, above 83 right there. The target's going to be 4130. Okay, so just as I have the bearish targets I already gave you down here, along with the weekly pivot that's pretty much going to say, over, under, it's time to start targeting. We're going to target that weekly pivot either way, right? I mean, it's going to reach up here and hit 85 and roll and go down and grab that weekly pivot, or up to the 4130 and roll off of it and trade our weekly pivot. So have an idea. Thursday's high is essentially where the weekly pivot, I believe, is going to be for next week. And I've got two levels up here that I want you to really be keenly aware of, 4085, and right there in the middle, there's two that I'm blending. It's 4120 and 40. I'm putting the blend on the middle, making the middle of those two the target and calling it 4130, okay? So, frankly, there's a lot of information in what we just discussed. One, there's another trade on the open for Monday morning that I intend to try, and that's the open slight up, down about 20. And then there is the bullish upside here, looking to check this 85 and the 4130s. And I plan to be really ready for failure up here to roll and get us back down and come all the way back down and check like the weekly pivot and maybe the bearish targets I've got down there for you. So there's a lot to digest there. I get it. I'm putting you on several ideas on different time frames, right? One's directly on the bell Monday morning, and then the other is to get you through to Wednesday until I'm with you again to set up the second half of the week, right? So good trade. Nice. This was great. I mean, look, here in review again, the rollover trade dropped 15. It was supposed to drop 17, missed by 2 whole points. But just the same as I'm giving you different time frames, we got the same thing down here. We're looking for the 39.50 support and up to 40.85. I mean, it's 39.50 support and it's up to 40.75, so that's pretty close, and we'll pick it up again, Monday. Check for you from there. So good trading. Till then, take care.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me